I have two new modules, the sequencer and the tool. The sequencer is a non-linear sequencer, so it's not every step is one step further in the sequencer, but it's like floating, and it's a different way of sequencing. And the tool is actually an upgraded version of the grains, so it's also made for workshops, and it's quite easy to make. But it's the grains, but then added with a dedicated analog to digital converter. So you can do also voltages instead of only audio. The grains is made for audio signals, and the tool is actually made for CVs. This is the sequencer, and what you see here, it's running non-linear, so it's like slower and faster. But that's it's not. It doesn't have a step input, but it has a voltage input, and it's connected internally in this case to the top tempo LFO. So now it's more linear, and now it becomes less linear. And it has a lot of functions like a step play length. And then everything is CV controllable. So now it's has, for example, it's offsetted by another sequence. So the but you can also do that with CV. So I put in it for more interesting sequences. And here we have a range knob. So it's everything between 0 to 10 volt. So you can. So then in the end, every step sounds the same. If you turn it that way. Then here you have the potentiometers per step. So you can. It's actually just like an analog sequencer. Every step has its own pitch. And that's actually it is analog. Only the calculation is digital. And then here we have switches. So every switch is a gate on or off, but also a trigger. So it has a gate. So you can put two gates after each other, and then it will be one long gate. But then I added a trigger output. So then it adds 10 millisecond trigger every time it's on. And here pulse output is every step has just a 10 millisecond pulse output. So you can trigger ADSRs or anything like that. Now it's connected to the LFO, but you can also run it via, for example, an ADSR. I have an ADSR here. Let's make a short pitch. So I can make a slower ADSR. Then every time the ADSR is triggered, then the sequence will run. So now you have a difference. So now you don't need the LFO. Now you can just run it standalone, and you hear it will get already quite interesting sequences as well. So you can then, for example, use a keyboard like this and trigger the ADSR. And then run this into the offset, and then you can use it as an arpeggiator, for example. Let's make this float. So then it's actually like an arpeggiator which triggers every time you trigger a note. So that's another way to play it. So then you can also use it standalone or with any other voltage control from anything actually.
So I get the first thing that kind of occurs to me as well is it must really open up what you can do with the sample slicer as well.
Yes, for sure. You can control the sample slicer in a different way. Yeah. But I like it also just as what I'm doing now with braids, for example, to play it on the braids. And
yeah, no, that's really nice. And so on the oscilloscope here, you've got that's one of the CV producing modes of tool.
Yes, exactly. That's another new module, and that's here is the tool. I have 4 tools now here, but they are all in the sketches. The codes on the tools are open source, but they are all still sketches. So, for example, this one is an LFO, and there are several modes. You can program it. So now you see a LED blinking, and that's actually a top tempo LFO, but then just a sawtooth. But then you can change between saw up, triangle, saw down. So I can show it on the oscilloscope. So it's now pitched up, but you can do weird things. Let's try and find a good way to show it. Yeah, so now it's looking better. Okay, now it's just an LFO with a saw up and saw down. So you can change it, and it's all CVable. But this is just one of the codes, so you can also make random noises with another code I have here. So this one is a noise module, but it's pitched noise, and that's also really nice. You can do different things. I can also show it in sound, because it's also making sound. So it's a pitched noise, for example. And it's CV. So but that's just one of the codes, and you can make. So now it's just a noise oscillator, but it can be anything in it. It's just what your imagination is. So you can make a CV step sequencer with, for example, a trigger gate input, and then program it via these knobs and whatever you like, I think. So an ADSR, anything.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, I can see people making a lot of use of that. And then finally, I guess the other thing we should talk about is you have an event coming up of your own.
Yes. In June, 9, 10 and 11 June, I'm organizing a big event with a lot of modular manufacturers, and also a lot of live acts. And it's 3 days of modular madness in The Hague. And it will be really great. And you are there as well, so I'm really happy that you're there. And it's.
Who else is going?
What?
Who else is going as well?
A lot of people. I see here all the names coming, so you can maybe zoom in. Then I don't have to talk because it's
Befako and Erica, Shaq Matt.
Exactly. So it's like a lot is going on. So, and a lot of people are going to play, and it's just. It's just. I'm looking forward. It's really cool. And
I bet people are going to be asking you about this video module you've got here as well.
Yeah. Just I just made it put in this case to show this little video, and
yeah, no, it's really cool. Okay, great. Thank you, Jan. Thanks a lot for that.